Here at Fox Weather, we've been your HQ for all severe weather events. There's been an upward trend in billion-dollar disasters since record-keeping began in 1980. The first half of the 2025 year was the costliest on record so far for major disasters. While we won't know for sure if this year will be among the costliest on record by the year's end, we do know it's put a strain on wallets across the country. Welcome to another edition of Market Meteorology, where we investigate how weather is going to be impacting the economy.
We're joined now by Fox Business contributor Phil Flynn. Phil, FEMA's response to recent natural disasters has been limited. And even last year, I know there was a little bit of panic going on from Helene and then Milton right after if they had enough funds for everybody, just given the propensity of the severe storms last year. If private insurers are now having to carry this financial burden after these events, could the costs end up falling on the people and the businesses that are directly affected if they're not getting that federal support?
Absolutely, because it's all going to be about risk versus profit potential for the insurance companies. And if there's more risk, they're going to be charging higher premiums, and it's going to fall on their backs. So I think that what we've seen in the past when we've had these disasters, when you get a coordinated response from both the federal government and the insurance companies, it had made things go more smoothly. But you have to look at the FEMA funds. Where were they? Why weren't they there? And the problem was, I think under the last administration, they spent them on other things, right, that really wasn't related to hurricanes and disasters. So you have to watch, you know, the way that you manage those funds, and hopefully they'll be there in the future when we need them.
Right.
Right, Phil. And, you know, if developers in Southern California specifically, what could development in areas like Palisades look like in terms of rebuilding after the fires? I mean, there has been an incredibly high-risk area because of those.
Well, there is, and there's a lot of insurance companies that would tell them, don't build there again, the risks are too high, and if you do, you're pretty much on your own. And so I think what we do when we see weather, we do what we do as a human being. We have to adapt to changing conditions, right? If the weather conditions change, you know, hey, if it gets cold outside, I got to wear a coat or a jacket or an umbrella. I think it's the same thing is for the economy, right? The economy has to get prepared. When we're seeing these risks go up dramatically. I mean, we're getting off to a terrible start this year, billion-dollar disasters, and we haven't even had a hurricane on land. So, you know, so as businesses, you have to be proactive, be prepared. And that means if you're building on dangerous areas, floodplains, you know, on the ocean, the risk of building there, the people are going to have to assume more of that risk because the insurance companies just won't do it.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of risk living in the United States. Some of the best places to live in the country can be the most storm prone. And we've actually been seeing a lot of natural disasters packing a bigger punch within the Lone Star State. It actually leads the country with the most weather disasters in terms of both frequency and the cost. I mean, granted, it is one of our largest states, so you have to take into account the size and the demographic and all the people that live there. But are traditional insurance models right now still practical for these catastrophic weather events? Do you foresee maybe insurance companies surging coverage costs for Texans among the states with the biggest risk? Louisiana tops that list, so does Florida and California.
Yeah, we're seeing the insurance company, they're adapt. And insurance companies have what's called adaptive models, right? And they base those models based on the potential of how much money they're going to have to pay out. So when we see these risks increase in these areas, generally you start to see the premiums go up. We've actually seen insurance companies saying, hey, we don't want to take that risk, so they leave that area. So it does have a major impact. Now, if you're in those areas, obviously you are taking a bigger risk as well because you have to pay either higher premiums or take less coverage. And that can be a real dangerous situation. So, for example, you know, if you get a flood and you don't have the specific flood coverage that you need, that may be coming out of your pocket. And a lot of people can't afford those types of risks without a little help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Phil, talking a little bit more about the ongoing coastal erosion that's been a major factor in the 11 Buxton, North Carolina homes that have been collapsing this past month. Are there resources for people to tap into in order to disaster-proof their home? I mean, it could be costly up front, but, I mean, it could also mitigate future damage costs for homeowners in the future.
Absolutely. You know, and actually a lot of insurance companies are going to pay you for doing that, right? For being proactive, right? And if you look at that area, in the world. It's one of the most pretty areas in the country, right? In that soil erosion is really having a big impact, right? But it also comes down to government management of some of these places. Like in that area, for example, when you'd have to have good water management, forest management, you have to think ahead and be proactive. And that's the thing. So I think what we're going to learn from these increasing amount of disasters, that we have to be better prepared. And at the same time, we have to realize that part of the increase in cost is inflation. The cost of rebuilding's gone up, the cost of construction. So you really have to hit it on all levels. Not only do you have to take better preparedness ahead of time, but you also have to work on, getting the economy strong, lowering inflation. And if you can work those two together, it's going to make things more manageable for you in the future.
Mm-hmm. Well, all these tips are so beneficial for a lot of folks. I know people have been, concerned, especially in these areas where these disasters have been ongoing the past year. So thank you so much for your contribution in this chat here. Fox Business contributor Phil Flynn, thanks for joining us here on Fox Weather.
Hey, great. It was great to be here. Thank you so much.